What is going on, lads? Welcome to a February the 16th Raw review. I'm going to get started, then we'll get ourselves thrown right into it. I'll give you more my thoughts on Raw tonight. Also, whether I'm looking forward to Fastlane. I'll be doing a prediction and preview to Fastlane sometime during the week. So yeah, we're going to get kick-started into the Raw review. Tonight, I thought they done quite well, the WWE, to build up storylines, to build up the feuds, to get you excited about Fastlane. But for me tonight, the in-ring action lacked, and it's not often I've said that about Raw, because Raw usually isn't too bad for in-ring action. I mean, it wasn't terrible, but for me, it just lacked that really good match between Ziggler and Rollins that had the potential, but was stopped because of a DQ. Dean Ambrose, Luke Harper was decent. I mean, we'll get into it when I actually do the review. But yeah, I just felt that we were lacking some good matches tonight. But I don't know. It was a decent Raw nonetheless. So anyway, let's get started with it and see what is going on. I just want to get the thingy up. But yeah, we are 1 week away from Fastlane. We only had 3 matches going into the night, so you expected them to add in a couple of matches over the night, which they did. No surprise there. They do that often. So yeah, basically we opened the show with John Cena. He was meant to come out and do an injury update. He didn't really. The eye seems to have looked to have recovered itself. He came out. He cut a John Cena promo. It was pretty bog standard. He did look a little bit more fired up than usual. I kind of like the angle with how they're doing it with John Cena and Rusev. Rusev then came out. John Cena and Rusev went at it, brawling, and John Cena went absolutely mad. He fucking lost the plot. He absolutely destroyed Rusev, knocked him out. And I like that side of it. I like the way they played that. I like the angle they went with that. And it kind of makes Cena look extremely strong heading into the pay-per-view, which kind of says to me possibly Rusev might win. But I mean, nonetheless, it was unique as such. I know we've seen brawls like that before, but the fact that Cena was shouting at the referees to go away and leave him alone, it just felt right. And Cena's obviously lost his head in this rivalry. But I mean, as I say, for an opening segment, it wasn't too bad. Although it was a regular, normal Cena promo, for a normal Cena promo, it was pretty good. And Cena did look like his old aggressive self from 5-6 years ago. He really did. So great work in that first segment. Next match was Luke Harper versus Dean Ambrose, which for me was the match of the night. As I say, this got time. It was relatively predictable who's going to win. In my opinion, I knew Dean Ambrose would win, which he did with Dirty Deeds. The ending was okay. Well, I think it could have been a bit better, but it was okay. The match itself was good. It means he beat another Intercontinental Champion. That seemed to be what they're doing. They mentioned that last night about him beating Intercontinental Champions. Obviously, he brought the contract out to the ring with Bad News Barrett. That was a kind of nice touch. It gave obviously the commentary team would have talked about it anyway, but it gave that match a little bit of an extra meaning, although kind of made it predictable. But a great match nonetheless. And yeah, Dean Ambrose in the end getting the win. Luke Harper again looking really good. And I mean, what are they doing with Luke Harper at the moment, other than absolutely jack shit? We then had the New Day versus Goldust and Stardust. The match was short. You expect that. They just spoke Goldust and Stardust to Dusty Rhodes backstage, their father, and it looked like it sorted out their differences. He was watching not from ringside but from behind the stage, behind the curtain. However, it got to the end of the match, and essentially, I believe, yeah, New Day won. It was a controversial-ish end. One would argue that Stardust distracted Goldust, which he did, and eventually at the end of the match, Stardust was picking up Goldust. It's really difficult when they've got their names, because you don't get them mixed up because you know the difference, but you sometimes say it wrong, so if I do, I apologise. Was trying to pick up his brother Goldust, and Goldust kept falling over, and they picked him up eventually, like shook his hand or done something, went to behind him, switched him round, and hit him with Crossroads. Fucking loved it. This match is going to be brilliant. It's had to happen. The scene, the storyline's good. the segment was rushed, not going to lie. And then the fact that they put a segment between Rose and Stardust on during the commercial break was just absolutely extraordinarily bizarre. I just could not get over that. But yeah, this feud is building up momentum. You feel like it's going to be WrestleMania. I just goddamn hope they don't rush it for Fastlane on SmackDown. I really don't, because it's not a feud that deserves Fastlane. I really hope that Stardust goes back to Cody Rhodes, but something tells me he probably won't. But I love the angle of him not like being called Cody, the angle of Cody being dead, the Goldust trying to save his brother. I like that, and I think this is going to be a great feud, and not too little too late, but you know, just about, you know, right in the respect of if we'd have waited another couple of years for this. Number one, I don't think Goldust would have been there, and number two, I just don't think people would have been that bothered with this. But as I say, the match itself was terrible, and the whole thing felt a bit rushed, but the outcome was good in the end. Kane versus Roman Reigns. Daniel Bryan was on ringside on commentary. A lot of people were liking his commentary, and yes, I suppose it did add to the feud, but it is always a bugbear with me when you get a match like that and you have someone at ringside on the commentary, and the action inside the ring seems to take a back seat, and it's all about the person on commentary and building themselves up. It happened with Big Show a few weeks ago. It seems to have happened with Daniel Bryan here. And I mean, it wasn't bad speech from Daniel Bryan, you know, he was very good on commentary. It was funny as such. It built up their feud, so don't get me wrong, I'm not criticising him in that respect, but it did take away from the action. It wasn't a bad match, but as I say, to be honest, I can't really remember too much about this match because I was distracted by the commentary team. JBL at one point did say about it, but I mean, it was an okay match, but it wasn't anything too fantastic. Again, it was an average kind of match that you get on Raw, but not anything special, and there weren't many special matches. As I say, this match, along with other matches, did let the show down, in my opinion, in respect of wrestling. But anyway, that was my thoughts on that. Roman Reigns eventually winning, which would be expected heading into the match at Thingy. Paige versus Summer Rae. There was a little bit of antics where the Bella Twins stole Paige's gear before the matchup, so she had to borrow one of the Rosebuds outfit. She came out, she wrestled. It was a decent match. It didn't go that long. She won. She won with that submission move. What is it called? Is it called the PTO? I think. I don't know. I think it's called that. Paige, yeah, something like that. And yeah, it really. I'm looking forward to their match at Fastlane, which is a surprise because usually they build up the Divas so badly that you're not even interested. I just hope they give it 10, 15, 20 minutes. They won't, but I hope they do. So yeah, it's given this rivalry a bit of significance. God knows what's going to happen at Fastlane. Will Paige take it? Will Nikki take it? Will Brie Bella possibly turn on Nikki? All these possibilities. It is going to be a good match and certainly a good outcome at Fastlane. That was a decent match. Seth Rollins versus Dolph Ziggler. Oh, it could have been so much better if it had been given time. It was a great start to the match. It was so short, but it was just amazing. What is it with Dolph Ziggler and providing amazing matches? Before the match, Dolph Ziggler cut a sick promo. Now I've been I've been harsh as such and critical of Dolph Ziggler's mic work, but in the past, but he was good tonight. It was very good. It was funny. It was what's the word? It was modern. It was what was going on now. Seth Rollins hit back. You know, Dolph Ziggler called him a douche. I mean, it was brilliant. It was a superb promo from Dolph Ziggler and set up this match that ultimately ended in disqualification, which meant Dolph Ziggler wins because J&J Security, who were barred from ringside, ended up interfering. But in the short time it was the match was actually on, it was very, very good. The rematch is scheduled for SmackDown tonight or Thursday night. We'll be able to see it. Though that suggests that this match isn't going to be at Fastlane. I thought they'd throw it on at Fastlane and possibly Randy Orton would interrupt or something. It doesn't look as if that is going to happen. There is still this talk of the 6-man tag match, possibly J&J Security and Seth Rollins versus Ryback, Ziggler, and Eric Rowan, because they did come out after the match to help out, what do we call it, Dolph Ziggler. So I don't really know what's going on with this. Something between all of them will probably happen at Fastlane. It is just a case of what. We then had Triple H respond to Sting last week and that little weird thing, but it was fantastic last week in my opinion. And this segment was as good, if not better. This was a fantastic promo from Triple H. The influence of Ric Flair was fantastic. He was involved in the promo, telling Triple H, you know, don't underestimate Sting. Don't make a decision that you'll regret. Blah 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 blah. You know, Triple H was powerful with what he was saying. He was on it tonight. It made you care about Sting, Triple H. I can't wait for this match at WrestleMania at the moment, because it's the only real match that is confirmed, other than the fact that we think John Cena, Rusev, and Roman Reigns, Brock Lesnar, or Daniel Bryan, Brock Lesnar, and Bray Wyatt, Undertaker. Bray Wyatt, Undertaker, I'm looking forward to, but Triple H, Sting, I fucking look forward to. And I tell you what, I hope it is the Authority. If they lose, they are out of power for good. Don't know whether that'll happen, but I hope it is, because that would just bring another aspect into that game. But as I say, Flair done well in this to help this promo have a bit more importance and help the feud build up. But Triple H was very, very good tonight. A man on a mission, calling himself, he is the man in WWE. Sting was WCW, and Triple H is the WWE. So, I mean, it's going to be a huge match at WrestleMania. It doesn't really need a story behind it. It's already got the story. It's a bit like if Undertaker would have taken Sting. You don't need storytelling, because it is just going to be... There's already a story behind it, and you don't even need to do anything. But anyway, that is what happened with that, and a great segment, as I say. The Ascension versus Darren Young and an unnamed partner. Darren Young returned. He returned to the pre-show. Ascension interrupted. Ascension beat him down really, really quickly. Again, this was another rush segment. It really was a rush segment, and it makes me die why they rush so many segments. If you're going to put them in so quickly, don't put them in. Put them on SmackDown, or put this on main event. You know, or something like that. Don't rush something like this. It just does not seem worth it. But Darren Young was back. The match, I don't think ever started. I'm not sure about that. No, I'm sure it didn't start. And Ascension beat down the unnamed partner, beat down Darren Young, and millions of dollars come out. Primetime players are back, you would feel. Titus O'Neil coming out, making a save. And as I say, millions of dollars are back. It's a primetime players. Hallelujah. The WWE Tag Team division better be on watch, because they are back. But anyway, this was a brilliant moment. It got no reaction from the crowd. The crowd were dead tonight for most of it. They were a bit alive for the whole Roman Reigns, Daniel Bryan thing. They were anti-Roman Reigns tonight. Which, I mean, Roman Reigns has got to turn heel. I like Roman Reigns, dare I say it, and I want Roman Reigns to win at Fastlane, because I don't think Daniel Bryan necessarily deserves to win it, and the fact that it would take the legitimacy of the Royal Rumble would just be worth fucking nothing, less than it is currently. Do I think Daniel Bryan deserves a title shot? Yes, but not now. And to be honest, no, I don't, because he had to vacate the title because he was injured. If you have to do that, commonly you don't get a rematch if you look back in history. And Daniel Bryan, I'm not saying he's getting on my nerves, but he is getting on my nerves a little bit. His character, because I like Roman Reigns and I want this to happen, he's getting on my nerves a little bit. He's good on the mic, though, to be fair to him. He's got a connection with the crowd. He's fantastic in the ring. Nobody can take that away from Daniel Bryan. He is a fantastic wrestler. But for me, he doesn't fit it. And that is controversial. I know a lot of you will like Daniel Bryan and you will disagree. But don't get me wrong, he's a fantastic wrestler. I can't wait for the match. I think any match that Daniel Bryan's involved in is usually a great match. But with that being said, I am not a big Daniel Bryan fan. Putting it out there. So apologies if I've got you angry. And if you are a Daniel Bryan fan, I'm a fan of what he does in the ring, but I'm not a fan particularly of his character. But anyway, I've spoken with Dissension. Next match, Damien Mizdow versus Bad News Barrett. This wasn't as funny as last week with Miz and Sin Cara. It wasn't as good as that. Sorry, Mizdow and Sin Cara. But, you know, again, it got Barrett won by pinfall, and after the match, something happened between them and Dean Ambrose, which was extremely good. Throughout the match, there was tit for tat between basically the Miz bullying, if you like, Damien Mizdow into doing stuff. He ended up virtually costing him. Well, he did end up costing him the match, which again teasing this breakup, which again senses like it might be WrestleMania. Again, if they do this too quick for Fastlane, I'll be pissed off, because it would just be a case of rushing it because the card's quite small. By the way, 2 matches were added to the card tonight. One you're about to hear about, Dean Ambrose Bad News Barrett for the Intercontinental Championship at Fastlane. It's going to be a great match in my opinion. Although these two last time they wrestled didn't have great chemistry from what I can remember, we'll have to wait and see what they produce at Fastlane. The other match was Tyson Kidd and Cesaro versus the New Day versus who the hell? The Usos. Oh my god, how did I forget? For the WWE Tag Team Championships. This is gonna be a great match, and I hope that Tyson Kidd and Cesaro win, but I bet they don't. So yeah, after the match though between Damien Mizdow and Bad News Barrett, Dean Ambrose came running out of that contract. He essentially beat down Bad News Barrett. I keep saying and I keep forgetting my words today. It is early in the morning, lads. I watched Raw live tonight, so it's 10 o'clock now. I went to bed at like 4:30 because I live in the UK, and I've got up about 9:30, so I haven't had a lot of sleep, so I'm a little bit tired. So apologies about that, but you know, that's life, innit? I suppose I had nearly 6 hours sleep, so that ain't too bad. You know, we live. Anyway, so yeah, he got him. I can't remember what he locked him up with, but he basically attached him to the flipping turnbuckle, not the turnbuckle. What is it called? I don't know. But anyway, the ring post or something. That's probably what it's called. And yeah, Bad News Barrett was stuck. He basically grabbed Bad News Barrett's hand and got him to sign the contract, which made the match official. It was a nice, unique angle. It built up the feud. I'm looking forward to this match at Fastlane. And it was a unique way of doing it, and that was good about Raw tonight. It was unique. We then had the Natalya and Tyson Kidd versus Naomi and Jimmy Uso. To be fair to the Divas, they put on a really good match as such when they were in the ring. So yeah, that was good, and I just wish the Divas were given much more time. And it's the same old shit that I say each week, but it's the same old shit that we see each week. A 2-minute Diva match. It's beyond a joke. And then you go and watch NXT. You go and watch NXT TakeOver. I should have done a review for that show, because that was sick, like everybody expected. And the Divas match steals the show. Obviously Finn Balor and Adrian Neville's up there, but the Divas match was up there as well. You know, it was phenomenal. So yeah, basically in the end, Naomi and Jimmy won by pinfall. There was some sort of, I cannot remember what the hell happened here at the end. I think Tyson Kidd didn't tag, ignored the tag from the Natalie, or Natalya, or moved out the way and avoided being tagged by Natalya, which then cost them the match. But I cannot remember, to be honest with you lads, which is terrible of me. But it wasn't a bad match. But again, didn't get a lot of time. Bray Wyatt was speaking all night, done 3 promos at different times. And this feud is about ready. He is sick on the mic. He is great at promos. I love Bray Wyatt. He is by far my favourite WWE superstar at the moment. And hell, I hope he beats Undertaker at WrestleMania. I just think it would do much more for his career. And I think Taker wouldn't mind losing at WrestleMania. Although I don't want to see the streak go to 21-2. I do want to see Bray Wyatt win. There was something about Bray Wyatt throwing up after the match with John Cena in losing the fact in the dump. I don't know what that was all about. I'm not going to talk too much about that. If you want to go and look at that, then you have to type it up on the internet and see what you can find about that. We all pretty much expected to be Undertaker. It was a very good, again, typical but very good promo from Bray Wyatt. And hell, I'm going to go on record by saying The Undertaker is going to return either at Fastlane or on Raw the next night. He has to return soon. Has to. You know, these are good, don't get me wrong, but I expect The Undertaker... These promos are getting to the point now where The Undertaker, you know, it's about to happen. Bray Wyatt is rounding it up. The promos are getting more intense, and it's hinting it more. It is time for The Undertaker. I'd love The Undertaker to sneak up on him in one of those promos and just like fucking tombstoning. That would be amazing. Again, that would be unique. But again, great for Bray Wyatt. He's fantastic in the ring. He's fantastic on the mic. And credit to Bray Wyatt. I hope to see him in action on SmackDown, so long as he's feeling all right after obviously this supposed sick incident, which is lovely and disgusting. Big Show versus Daniel Bryan. They put Roman Reigns ringside, not on commentary. It's probably the best thing, because he's probably been crucified if he was on commentary, because his mic work isn't great. Although we cut a good promo early on in the night backstage, I thought that was quite good interview. And I think it worked with Owen distraction, taking selfies with the fans. That was quite funny. The match itself was okay. Daniel Bryan made it better than what it was, and also if he wouldn't have been involved with the match, it would have been another typical Big Show match. But Big Show is not great in the ring. He's too slow and too thingy. I just cannot believe that Kane and Big Show are probably the two guys heel-wise that are getting the biggest push in the company at the moment. I mean, what the fuck is wrong with that? They are... Kane, to be fair, I can cope with, but Big Show is old news. It's like, leave, Big Show, fucking leave. But anyway, the match itself wasn't great. The match itself was, as I say, a typical Big Show match, but Daniel Bryan made it good, to be fair to him, or made it an okay match. Big Show won by disqualification because Roman Reigns come flying in the ring and hit him with a Superman punch. Daniel Bryan's pissed off, dropped kicked him, and started the brawl of the fucking century. These two tore shit up. For about 10 minutes they were brawling. It was better than the match itself, which is always a worry. And they were chucking them through, you know, they're going through the barricade, they were going over the announce table. They went into the arena. It was very, very, very good. They both snapped. The referees had to come out, stop them. It was fantastic. It was a real good brawl, and it got that personal edge that this rivalry didn't need because it already had it, but it really gave you that personal edge, and it pumped me up for Fastlane. Going through Raw, this Raw was very, very good, other than the fact of the matches let it down just a tad. I think the Raw show next week is going to be one of the best Raws we have seen of 2015. And I will tell you why. And I'm not spoiling anything because I don't know anything. I know as much as anybody else. Number one, I think they could return Sheamus. Number two, it might be Randy Orton's first Raw since coming back. Number three, it could be and feature Sting. Number four, it will, you would expect, feature Brock Lesnar and Paul Heyman and whoever wins at Fastlane. Number five, it may well include The Undertaker. That is going to be an extremely good Raw, as well as the fact of John Cena and Rusev possibly going at it again at WrestleMania. Next week's Raw is going to be brilliant. Fastlane is going to be great. I'll be doing a preview and predictions for that in the next coming days. What did you think of Raw? Did you enjoy it? Did you enjoy it? The first segment was good. It wasn't too long. There was a lot of brawls, there was a lot of fights, but what let it down a little bit was the in-ring action tonight, which is a rarity for Raw, because usually the superstars deliver, although the booking and the timing probably let that down a little bit. But a decent Raw, a good Raw nonetheless, and yeah, let's just fingers crossed that WWE can build on this Raw for next week's Raw, which I think will be fantastic. And I do still feel there needs to be a bit more on WrestleMania, a little bit more emphasis on this whole WrestleMania thing, a bit more pointed to the thingy, but I'm sure we'll get that after Fastlane. We're not many days away from the biggest event of the year. It's WWE WrestleMania 31, but before then we've got the small task of WWE Fastlane, and by God, the WWE could change the face of the main event of WrestleMania for good. I'll be back with a preview and predictions midweek, and other than that, enjoy today. Thanks for watching. I'll see you next time. Goodbye.